Welcome back to the show, everyone. Joining me now from the El Toro Water District is Director Kay Havens. She's going to help us understand everything about our water quality, and I am super impressed with the stats. You will be too.
Good to see you, Bree.
Thank you for coming back.
Yes, of course.
I've looked through all your materials, and this is exciting stuff.
Yes, every year we put out a water quality report, and this year we're coming and telling you a little bit about it. It can be a kind of overwhelming document. It's mailed to everybody at the beginning of the month, I think, last month. And so much information. So I'm going to try and keep it simple for people, and we'll just go from there.
I love it. Okay. Well, let's just start with, where does the water come from?
Now, this is a really important question. Thank you for asking it, because a lot of people think that our water comes from the Southern Sierra, because everybody's seen the movie Chinatown. But that water goes to Los Angeles. Our water comes from the State Water Project, which is subject to Bay Area politics. But the Northern California gets 3 to 4 times as much water as we do. And so the excess of that water comes down the State Water Project to help out the 19 million people in Southern California. Now, the rest of our water comes from the Colorado River Aqueduct, which originates in the Great Basin states and comes all the way down the Colorado River to the Hoover Dam and to us via the Colorado River Aqueduct. So they're 2 completely different kinds of water. It is water, but Colorado River is a little bit harder, and State Water Project water is a little bit softer. So they're often blended.
Are they?
Yes.
What a massive undertaking.
It is a massive and very expensive undertaking.
Thank you for these images, because I don't think that we quite understand.
And the truth is, most of the energy used is for pumping water. So it's very heavy. Water's very heavy. It takes a lot of infrastructure. You can see how strong those pipes have to be to contain it.
Yeah, and how many miles long are those
miles
pipes?
Long. Mm-hmm.
How long did that take to build?
Decades, yes. Yeah, many, many years.
And will we outgrow that soon?
Well, no, we're not going to outgrow it. Actually, people have been using less water, substantially less water, so the infrastructure will not need to be sized up. With a change in climate, what's going to need to be sized up are the reservoirs, because we're not going to be having as much storage in snow. So we're going to be having a lot more rainfall, a lot more flashy events. So that's why the State Water Project is so important, because when that Northern California gets a lot of rain, then it would be great when they have surpluses to send it our way.
Okay, wonderful. So in terms of the water quality report, any key takeaways you'd like to share with the viewers?
Well, it's mailed out every year, and it can be, like I said, it can be a little daunting because it's a lot of regulatory language. But what's important to know is that we meet or exceed all state and federal standards, and have done so for decades. Our water is generally much more highly regulated than even bottled water. So our water is completely safe, very high quality. I drink it, I swim in it. I really just am very proud of our water quality. But this report can be found, it should have been mailed to everybody recently. A lot of people it's just too overwhelming to read. But it can also be found on the El Toro Water District website.
Oh, wonderful. So people can look it up there.
Yes.
Is there still a stigma with putting your glass under the kitchen faucet and just drinking the water directly?
No. And we'll be going into that, when we're talking about PFAS, because we do not have PFAS in our drinking water, because it comes from surface water and not from groundwater.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to getting to that point in the conversation. What types of contaminants does El Toro Water District test for?
So we are constantly testing. We do tens of thousands of tests every year. We test for every contaminant that is kind of, even on the spectrum, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So we test for microbial, we test for inorganic, We test for pesticides and herbicides. We test for organic chemicals that can come from all sorts of sources, and radioactive sources that come from the soil. Right. And from a lot of these things can come from the environment. When water hits soil, all kinds of things are able to be taken up naturally. And they aren't necessarily bad, but people need to know how much of them there are. So total dissolved solids, whether there's any salts. Like I said, the Colorado River tends to be a little harder. The State Water Project water tends to be a little softer.
So Kate, when contaminants are found,
yes,
what is the immediate reaction?
Well, most of the time they're not found because the water has been treated to such a high standard before the testing takes place. So they don't do generally a pre-test, they just do a post-test after filtration. Now, Laguna Woods Village, our water is very high quality because it comes from two sources, Metropolitan Water District, and they do their filtration at the Deemer filtration plant for the water that comes to us. And we also are part of a consortium that is able to get water from the Baker filtration plant, which is a state-of-the-art filtration plant that was just finished within the last 5 years to the tune of $10 million. It's right up in Lake Forest. It's close by, and it uses reverse osmosis filtration, very high-powered ultraviolet disinfection, and the water that comes from it is very good. So we're very proud of that water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Water quality matters, right?
Yeah, and it does. It matters to everybody. And it matters to us as a water district. It is our #1 priority. And we take it very seriously every day. All of our staff members, when they're out in the field, are looking for any kind of problems. And we hope that, we rarely find them, but we attend to things, keep things maintained so that we don't have problems. So our valves are regularly maintained. Our, all of our own disinfection systems are constantly monitored. As I said, we do tons of sampling. We have 70 sampling sites throughout the district, and we run 12,000 water quality tests annually.
Wow.
Just for these weekly tests to check our chlorine levels throughout the system. Chlorine is what makes sure that there is no bacteria in the lines. So that is very important. You will never be able to get rid of chlorine in the lines. Otherwise, you would never know whether your water was safe. We also test for nitrites, which they generally come more from the State Water Project than from the Colorado River. And we make sure that those levels are kept low. And any coliform bacteria, which is, as you can see by the microbiological monitoring, knock on wood, we have not had any tests that have had bacteria for years. So that proves that our vigilance is working.
Fantastic.
And we would absolutely go crazy if we did have any kind of bacteria. So,
and that would probably come from the soil, right?
No, it would have to come from some kind of yes, some kind of a broken line.
Wow.
So,
how many employees does the El Toro Water District have?
we have 61. We run lean because it's,
I would have thought it was
yes, we have
lot
61
more.
employees, especially for our 3 different service areas, because we do drinking water, we do sewage, and we do recycled water. So we're very busy.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of very, very busy, there's no forever chemicals found.
Isn't this great news?
This
We just need to make this point that because we aren't coming out of the groundwater table where most of the contamination of PFAS is taking place, PFAS that gets into the groundwater table has often come from like the firefighting foams and from some probably illegal dumping in the past. But since we're not on the water basin, we don't have to worry about it. And the water has been tested, but there is no PFAS in it. So we're very happy with that fact. Although I must say that the Orange County Basin got on it as soon as they found out, and that most of their wells have been put back into action. They've spent billions of dollars making sure that PFAS is not in that water basin. So we can all be very proud of the water districts
Absolutely.
in Orange County. Yeah,
Absolutely. And not only that, Kay, but definitely peace of mind.
definitely peace of mind. Yes, this is our health, our children's health, our parents' health, our animals' health. So it is a very important factor in, what we do.
Well, and there's not a lot that citizens can do directly in terms of water, but they certainly can reduce their exposure to PFAS by not using nonstick pans,
Right.
waterproof coating,
Right.
stain-resistant fabrics.
Yes.
There's other ways that they can protect
Actually,
themselves.
the concern is the PFAS that comes out of humans' bodies. So when it will be in the sewage. So we do have to be careful about what's coming out of the people
Interesting.
because people are exposed to it. So no Teflon pans, people,
Yeah.
please.
All right. With that, folks, no Teflon pans.
But our water
Okay.
is, excuse me, fantastic, and I'll be going and swimming in it in just a little while.
All right. Well, you do that. Thank you so much for joining me
You're
today.
welcome.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much, Bree.
You're watching This Day on Village TV. Coming up next, PC Club. Michael will be back with you.